Hey everyone, welcome to Wealth Redefined. I'm your host, Michael Reynolds, independent financial advisor and owner of Elevation Financial. Thanks for joining us today. Glad to have you on this episode. I've got a special guest with cannot talk today. A special guest with us today. I'll slow it down a bit so I can talk better. To talk about referral marketing. I'll tell you a little bit about our guest, Tiffanie, and then I'll welcome Tiffanie and we'll chat a bit and dig into the topic. So Tiffanie Kellog is my guest today. Tiffanie entered the Entrepreneurial Award in 2003, and since then has enjoyed being able to help her clients make money, save time, and have fun. And those words are in all caps. So I have no doubt the passion behind those things. And your website definitely tells that story of passion behind networking and referral marketing as well. So since 2003, Tiffanie has spent her time traveling across the globe, helping thousands of entrepreneurs create amazing businesses and have spectacular lives through keynote presentations, workshops, online programs, and more. Whether sharing her expertise with her Southern accent, I might add, on networking, referral marketing, or maximizing your time. Tiffanie is the author of 4.5 Networking Mistakes, Maximizing Your Networking Efforts by Maximize Your Networking Efforts by Avoiding Common Mistakes, Knock the Socks Off Your Audience, Delivering Presentations with Power and Passion to Audiences Large and Small, and Socks to Success, Be Memorable. And there's a story behind the socks we're going to get to in a second here. Branding to generate more referrals. So Tiffanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so very much. I'm excited to be here with you today.
I'm excited you were here as well. And I also noticed that you are a Star Trek and sci-fi fan, just like me.
Yeah.
So I'm always thrilled to find a fellow sci-fi enthusiast. So I have to ask you before we get started,
Okay.
what is your opinion? If you've seen it, what is your opinion of the Star Trek Discovery series?
So I have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
As much so that my husband, I've actually got him to watch with me, and
Nice.
he is not like, usually I have to like beg him, can we watch a little bit of Star Trek? And the answer is usually no. But he's enjoyed the entire series of Discovery. So he watches it with me every week. I think he likes Lower Decks better, but he's into the Discovery. Have you finished it now?
No, I think I have like 2 or 3 episodes left. I watch it when I work out. So I watch it like once a workout, so like 2 or 3 times a week, depending on when I get interrupted or if I can watch the whole thing. So, I've got a 5-year-old, so that happens sometimes. Yeah, I love it. It's a really good series. It's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it.
It's a nice, it's a different take. It's from a different kind of perspective, but you got the things that we know and love.
Yeah, really like it. And you probably can't see it in this view right now, but I have a Star Trek blueprint of the Enterprise behind me on my wall, which is always a conversation piece. So I always love talking Trek. So anyway, enough of that. You also are known for your socks. Tell me about your socks.
So it wasn't meant to be a big thing in the beginning. I just like to wear fun socks. And my sister likes to make fun of most of my clothes because she and I just have very different tastes. And I had a pair of socks she just thought were hideous. And so she bought me some more fun socks. She looked up ugly socks. And then my husband was like, well, why don't we do 25 socks for Christmas? And so I wore 25 different pairs of socks for Christmas. And the next year it's like, we should see how many different pairs of socks you have, Tiffanie. And so we started in October of 2015. And the deal was I could wear a pair of socks once and only once. And let's see how long it takes me. I wasn't sure if I'd make it to Christmas, though we ended up going to March of 2017. So a year and a half, over 300 pairs of socks. Never wearing the same pair more than once. And the collection has grown quite a bit since then. And when we were still meeting in person, if you were at a networking event with me, if I was on the stage, I was pretty noticeable because you would see, I always made sure whether it was like shorts or capris or a dress, that you could see my bright and colorful socks with a pair of Converse. So I definitely stand out in the networking world.
Yeah, it's a good tool to be memorable, among other things. But all the pictures on your website seem to really showcase those socks, including the one I use for our show here. So I really like that. It's really cool. So, well, let's jump in a little bit. So when we talked originally, I was interested in having you on the show to talk about, originally in my mind, it was networking. And then we kind of realized that really we're talking about referral marketing. And so one of the first things I'd like to just establish is a lot of people, myself included, sometimes blur the line between what is networking and what is referral marketing. And when you and I talked, we determined that what I really prefer and what I really believe in is referral marketing, but it kind of gets lumped into networking. So just briefly, what would you say the difference is between networking and referral marketing?
To me, when I think about networking, it's I'm going to an event, and that could be online or offline. I'm getting out there, I'm meeting new people, I'm connecting with folks that I already know. working that relationship process. When it comes to referral marketing, this is actually the marketing that I put in place to help generate referrals for my business. So just like you might have a social media marketing plan, you might have an advertising marketing plan, you will have your referral marketing plan. And so here's the plan of how I get more referrals in my business. And really, they call it referral marketing, but I think they should start calling it relationship marketing, because it's about the relationships that you develop from the people. Maybe you met them while networking, that you're able to create to generate the referrals.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I've always been really resistant to networking events where you show up in a room, a bunch of people, of course, pre-COVID, of course, show up in a room in person, cards around, talk to different people for 2 minutes at a time and just kind of work the room. And that always feels very empty and just stale to me. Like some people love it. I'm not knocking the format or anything, but for me, I'm not going to refer to someone that I just met for 2 minutes. I'm not going to build trust in that quick, attention span kind of time. So for me, I much prefer networking organizations and groups where I get to know people over time. We meet on a regular basis. I see them on a consistent basis. We get to know each other. We do business together. That to me is where the real strength is. And I guess that's referral marketing is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's interesting.
A relationship.
When people think I want to grow my business by referral, they're like, let me go see how many new networking events that I can go to and how many new people that I meet. But if you think about relationships as a progression, just like you wouldn't get married on your first date. I mean, unless you're in Vegas, different story. But just like you wouldn't start the romantic relationship that way, people really try and jump into the business relationship. Like, hey, I just met you. Where are my referrals? When it takes time. And those networking organizations where you get to see the same folks over and over and over again, help you build up that time. And so to me, when I want to grow my business by referral, I want to go to the people that I know well, that trust me, that already refer me, and let's see what we have there. And then go to the people I don't know as well, and kind of back to the people that maybe I don't know much at all. And then let me go meet new folks to put them into this relationship marketing strategy.
Yeah, and love it or hate it, that's why BNI works so well, and groups like BNI, the kind of the clones or the similar groups that have used that same format work really well because you have that consistent exposure to people that you build trust with. So, and the reason I wanted to talk about this topic is I work with a lot of business owners, especially solopreneurs or small business owners who they're always looking for a way to market and make more money, obviously, because the reason you're in business is to serve others and to make money and to grow your wealth. And so there's such a variety of marketing stuff out there to be distracted with. There's, Facebook and social media and search engine marketing and email marketing and print marketing and sponsorships and just events, so much stuff out there. And the average business owner is like, well, what do I do? What's going to work? I want to put my money and my time where it's going to be effective. And I don't know what that is. And most entrepreneurs, I think, just get overwhelmed and just kind of don't do anything, or just kind of, throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks and don't really have a plan. And I have always, for years and years, I have always been convinced that one of the best ways to grow sustainably is referral marketing. And so I'd love to talk to you specifically for my business owners and also like salespeople that, rely on relationships to grow. What are some of your best ideas and best advice for people who want to start using referral marketing or relationship marketing to really grow their business?
So I think it's a pretty simple system. I'm going to give you kind of the overview of what I think are maybe 5 easy steps to growing your business by referral. The first is you really want to know who is that ideal client. You almost want to think of, give me the description or describe to me the avatar that you're trying to create for whom you're looking for. Too often people are like, I can work with anybody, any business. Small business owners is a request I hear frequently. And 99% of the businesses in the United States are classified by the government as small business. So that's pretty much everybody. And I think when you can paint the picture, if I said, I'm looking for the red-haired gal, pigtail braids, freckles, polka-dotted dress, fishnet stockings, patent leather, high heel shoes, you have a very kind of disturbing picture in your head, but you can see that person. And I think when we want to grow our business by referral, it's important for us to be able to articulate to our referral sources exactly whom we're looking for. And one of the things that's hard with referral marketing, we have to get out of our own head. We may know all of the details. However, we're not selling. We're hopefully being referred. So we have to teach our referral sources this information. So I like to say KISS, Keep it short and simple. So describe to us, that ideal client in a very specific way.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there for a minute because the pushback I always get when I talk about this with people is, well, I don't want to exclude anybody. I don't want to turn anybody away. I feel like I'm going to narrow my audience. What do you say to those responses?
So that's a really common thing that people think. And you have to think about the scarcity versus abundance mentality. I have a general contractor that I was working with. He's been a client of mine since 2014, I believe. His name's Jason. And when I first met him, he was taking just about any job, including like, I'll go fix the person's toilet. Because once, I fix their toilet when they want to redo their bathroom, then they'll use me. And he had average sales of about 10 grand. And we were like, no, you're not going to do this anymore. You're not going to do that anymore. And his average sale is now $36,000. So over the past 6 years, he's been able to increase his average sale by going after the clients that are going to pay him well. And he likes working with. So I think that's important when you're thinking of who's the ideal client. It's who pays you well and who do you like working with. And I understand that, and it's not that we're necessarily excluding them, but let's say I'm on my way north to come see you from Tampa, Florida. Now, on my way, I happen to get distracted and I take a pit stop in Memphis. Now, if I was here in Tampa, Florida, would I have ever stopped by Memphis? But it was only when I'm coming north towards you, that's a little out of the way, that I got there. And so I think a lot of times people think, if I say I only want to work with trades companies, does that mean you can't work with CPAs? Does that mean you can't work with lawyers? No, it's just who are you targeting? Who's the ideal client? And to me, if you could have your ideal client, the bread and butter client, isn't that better anyway?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. And we have a comment coming in on Facebook Live from Leslie. Leslie says, yay, it's Michael Reynolds and Tiffanie Kellog sharing the screen. I look forward to discovering what Tiffany's you have to share. And Leslie says, what state does this count for, Tiffany? I'm not sure if that's an inside comment. I don't know what that means.
So I am, my goal in 2021 is I want to speak all across the United States.
Oh, right.
I want to do 50 engagements in 50 states across the U.S. So I hadn't actually thought about that, Leslie. That's a really good point. I'm going to have to think on that one.
For Indiana. We'll give you Indiana on this one.
Okay.
I'm in Indiana, so
we'll take it.
I guess you can pick any state you want because we're virtual. So, okay. So point number one is who is your ideal client? That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, go ahead. You've got more points, I know. So
the second thing that goes along with that is once you figure out who your ideal client is, that gives way to figuring out who your best referral sources are. I often have people say to me, hey, Tiffany, I'm a butcher, baker, candlestick maker, insert whatever profession you want here. Who's the best referral source for me? And it really is all about the target market. The ideal client you have is going to be what leads us to who are going to be those best referral sources. Oftentimes people are like, well, I want the bankers, I want the realtors, I want the credit card processors, I want the mortgage brokers, when really there can be some creative referral sources. I have a woman and she does Mary Kay, and her best referral sources are in the dog field. Like her ideal clients treat their dogs like they're people. And so you wouldn't think of Mary Kay and the pet groomer, but they do very well together. And so it's really dependent on who is that ideal client. So you can find the referral source that can refer you all day, every day. And what I love about it is instead of trying to meet 50, 100, 200 people at your local networking organization, it's about finding the right 4, 6, or 8 people that you're developing these relationships that they can pass you referrals all day, every day.
See, that's what I love. I love the scalability of that. I always talk about scalability, and it's a buzzword I use too much, I know, but I'm always looking for scalability because, like you said, you could just try to meet 50 people who could be your clients, and that's almost impossible. Or you could, like you said, have a handful of people that are out there looking for you for potential clients and then referring them to you. So that's a lot more scalable.
And when we get to, so step 3 and 4 kind of go together. You can flip a coin, maybe even think of them as 2 sides of a coin. You have to have them both. It could go in either order. But one of the things, and we'll call it step 3, is you got to educate your referral sources. So you're going to train them. What do you do? What's your why? How do you want to be referred? How do I qualify a referral on your behalf? There's a lot of things that we can teach our network. And if we can give them that information, they will pass us better and stronger referrals. And instead of 1 out of 10 referrals closing with a brand new referral source, maybe it's 5 out of 10 close, or you get to the point where everyone or almost everyone closes. and you're doing a lot less work. Now you're investing in the relationship because we'll get to stage 4, which is going to take some time, but they're so well trained. They could be part of your sales staff almost. And they're bringing you these amazing referrals. And so you're spending less time because they're out there doing the work on your behalf. So it's definitely scalable.
So how do you recommend educating referral sources? Is it as simple as having a one-to-one meeting with them every now and then and just kind of talking it over? Is there something more formal you do?
Yes. So I think as you start the relationship, it is, let's get together for coffee. Let's do what I like to call a ZOL, a Zoom call for 30 minutes or an hour. Let's do a one-to-one, and I'll share a little bit about my business. You share a little bit about your business. As we get deeper in the relationship, you can actually sit them down and train them as if they're part of your sales team. I actually have a written sales training manual for my referral partners. Now, this is not something for the lighthearted. This isn't something for people that I met a week ago or even a year ago, but for the people that I've been in referral relationships for a couple of years, I do have like an actual sit down structured, let me train you as if you're part of my team, and then please train me as well.
Okay. Makes sense.
But to start with, I think the one-to-ones are good basic conversations.
Yeah. Keep it simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's next?
All right. So educate was one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is we need to motivate our referral sources. Because if they know a lot about your business, but there's no motivation, we like to call that knowledge on ice. It's like they're not going to do anything because they're not going to be moving. And so we've got to get them excited to help us out. And so
I love that phrase.
And some simple things. I mean, if you think about it, what's one easy way that we can motivate our referral sources?
Well, some kind of referral bonus or some sort of incentive for them.
Yeah, we can give them referral incentives and we can give them referrals. It could be something as easy as let me book you a speaking engagement or helping get on the podcast. It could be let me just pick up the phone and call and say, hey, how are you doing? Just checking in with them. Thank you notes and thank you gifts are really powerful. I'm sure, Michael, when people give you Star Trek stuff, that probably resonates well, doesn't it?
It's very memorable. I have received a number of little Star Trek gifts in recent years, and it's always memorable. Yeah.
For my birthday.
They did research. They understand who I am and what I like, and it's personalized.
Yeah. For my birthday this year, I got some Spock socks. I have the little pointy ears flapping. Yeah. So I haven't worn them yet, but I've got me some new Spock socks. So yeah,
I love them.
It stands out quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so I think if you can do things that will motivate them, it can be powerful. So those are 5 or 6 ideas that I use for motivating. You can promote them on social media. You can put them in your newsletter. It's really just sharing them and putting them out in front of the people in your world and letting them feel appreciated.
I love the referral and like giving referrals back as the incentive. And to me, that's the best way because it's something that shows it's a reciprocal, respectful relationship. You're trying to help each other. And most people, I find, don't respond all that well to monetary incentives. It's like, well, okay, you get a $25 gift card for doing a referral. Okay, who cares? Like most people don't really get motivated by that stuff. But if you send them a client, that's huge. Like that's investing directly in helping them with their business. And it is more valuable than anything you could give from a gift card or a little, kind of gift standpoint. So I've always found that to get referrals, and this is a B&I concept as well, is to give referrals first, is invest in your network by giving first, and then you'll start to get referrals.
Yeah, I actually will walk people through, we call it your giving plan. So it's some numbers things, which you would definitely probably love. You come up with a revenue goal and then you see how many clients you need to hit that and what's your referral closing percentage. And then how many referrals do I have to give to receive that number? And I love it because then you walk away saying, I need to give 2 referrals this week. I need to give 5 referrals this week. And it puts you in a position to be able to say, oh, okay, I know what's going on.
Love it.
I'm in control.
Yeah. All right. So what's step 5?
Okay. Step 5 is an interesting one. And sometimes people think, I don't know. And it's simple. It's just ask for referrals. Now, most people are hesitant to ask for referrals because they're afraid of rejection. They're fearful of that no. But if you're asking for referrals and you get a no, you're doing it wrong. Most people say, do you know anybody that needs my product or service? And that puts the mind in a, do you know anybody? We have enough going on in our minds. Like there is no extra room for something. So it's like, no, I don't. Let's not even think about it. And do you know anyone that needs my product or service? Like you're telling me I have to figure out who needs your product or service. So instead, what I recommend is sharing, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? And then you want to insert that specific referral request. Now, it doesn't have to be your target market every time, but it could be, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know that owns an air conditioning company and loves to play golf? I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know that is the membership director at your local chamber of commerce? What's happening in your mind when you hear it phrased that way?
Yeah, it's a very it's a very easy ask to receive. It's very easy to receive that request because you don't feel like you're being pressured. It's more of a, hey, I need some advice or I need some help. It's phrased in a way that's more soft and less pushy, I think.
Yes, definitely. And I recommend, if you're talking to your referral source on the phone, I'm like, where is the phone? I like if they're talking to them on the phone, hey, before I let you go, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who? If you're actually talking to them via Zoom, via StreamYard, some online platform, if you're one of those few people in the country that still is out and about and going networking, you can ask it when you're in person. And sometimes you could even just put this out as your social media post. I had a client, she has yoga, and she said part of her vision is she wants to have one person from all 50 states as part of her online membership. We like playing around with the 50 states apparently. And so she put a post out there saying, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who would love to do some online yoga? And, because I'm looking to add to my membership. She signed a client from Alaska.
Nice.
We're in Florida, not even close, from a social media post. So you can ask the one-to-one relationship, though you can definitely utilize the relationships you have on social media and put that out there. I wouldn't do it all the time. 4 or 5 times a day is going to be a bit much. Sometimes people say how often is appropriate. I think it depends on how frequently you post. I post several times a day on Facebook, so I could probably get away with 2 or 3 times a week putting that out there in different formats, different requests. If you're only posting 2 or 3 times a week, then it might be a little too much for you.
I love the way you phrase that because I think most of the time people think, oh, if I ask for referrals, it has to sound like this. Hey, can you help me? Can you refer somebody to me that looks like this? And you kind of start with the ask. But the way you phrased it, again, I want to see if I get it right. Hey, I'm expanding my business. Who do you know that fits this description? You're not asking them for anything. You're giving them kind of a challenge to sink their teeth into, and logically that will end up being a referral, but it's not framed that way. So it's again, it's much lower commitment, lower risk for them to dig into.
Definitely. And you can ask for the prospect. You can ask for the introduction to one of those referral sources of a profession you need. You could ask for speaking engagement or podcast guests or interviews. I mean, the sky's the limit on the help that you could request from people.
So I want to go back to something, and I always try to, first of all, this is excellent. This kind of 1 through 5 process is really understandable and really helpful. I like to kind of envision my clients in my mind when we're talking about stuff like this with guests, because I always have people that, okay, I want to help them. I want to apply this to their situations. And, let's say I've got some clients that are just starting businesses. They're not experienced with networking or referral marketing at all. They're maybe sometimes introverted, very new to the concept of relationship building and networking and referrals. So going back to step 2, where it is, where do you find your best referral sources? How do you advise people to look for and find those referral sources if they don't have an existing network?
So a couple of different ways that you can go about that. First, you could go, let's say if you're looking for a specific profession, you could see, is there a professional association built around this profession that I could go and find those people? Or you can go to the general networking events, though there might not be as many there. My favorite way to get those professions is to ask for the referral. If I'm looking for the butcher, let's say, I could ask my network, I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who's a butcher? And so I can be asking the people in my network, hey, who do you know in these professions? Because then they can warm up the introduction. And instead of me going up and shaking their hand, I guess that's pre-COVID. I think now it should be like we do the Vulcan greeting.
Right.
It should be like our new way of greeting people. Instead of saying, okay, hey, I'm just meeting you, let's develop a relationship. Anytime we can get referred in, I think it helps shorten the amount of time it's going to take to generate referrals.
Okay. What about someone, not to push the issue, what about someone who is not very active on social media, really has not much of a network? They're not really into any kind of networking, even social online networking.
Okay. So let me tell you about me in 2003. Introvert, a hardcore introvert. People don't always believe it, but I am. Introverted, didn't move to a brand new state. The only person I knew my aunt and her family and my grandparents and my husband's family that lived over a couple towns over. Those are the only people I knew. I spent my first 2 years cold calling, and I'm good at it and I hate doing it. I went to my very first networking event. Somebody cold called me out of the phone book to invite me to a networking event because this is pre-social media. This is pre any of that. I guess there were like AOL chat rooms, but I don't know if that counts. But it was pre any of that stuff. And so I walked into this room, no idea what was going on. It was BNI, but I totally fell in love with, there's people here to generate referrals. So if you're brand new, you're introverted like me, you didn't know anybody like me, I would find, a local chamber of commerce, a local BNI chapter, find some local organizations, and then try to become best friends with the membership director or the ambassadors or the people in leadership in the organization. Be sure to give, don't just take from them, but see who here could help mentor me or who here will be able to help me out. And I think that it's also important to have a system to get the knowledge. I didn't know what I was doing when it came to networking. I've got a marketing degree and they did not teach us networking. I went to the library for most of it and checked out books. I mean, we did have the internet back then. I mean, it's not even that long ago. We did have the internet, but there wasn't as much on there. And I just tried to learn. So to me, anytime you're trying to get a new skill, be a sponge, get as much education, get as much knowledge as possible, turn to people that really know a lot about, the topic or what you're looking to learn. And that can help you along the way. Don't make the mistakes they did, learn from theirs.
Makes sense. Love it. Thank you. This is an awesome structure, very simple, very easy to follow, very effective. I know from experience, very effective because I've learned through various experiences, both the easy and the hard way, how to do, some of these things effectively. And a lot of times we overcomplicate it. We overcomplicate marketing. We overcomplicate business growth. And, the simple outline you shared is extremely helpful. And I know it works from personal experience. So I appreciate that. Any other general referral marketing tips you have for our audience?
Just remember, it's about the individual relationships. Too often people think it's my BNI chapter, it's my chamber membership. I encourage people to write down a list of their top 12 referral sources, their names, not companies, not organizations, the actual name of the people. Those are the relationships that you want to work. And I know networking and referral marketing are different, but you can't network without the working. You've got to put the energy and effort into it. And relationships last only as long as they're mutually beneficial. So you want to make sure you're taking really great care of your relationships.
Mm-hmm. I also want to add one thing that's great about referral marketing is, I don't want to say it's free because it's not, but it is, for the most part, much less expensive than, Facebook advertising or Google marketing or any kind of, online or offline direct marketing and advertising efforts. So it should be really attractive to salespeople and business owners who want to grow because you invest a lot of time into it. But joining a networking group is not very expensive, and some of them are even free or extremely inexpensive. Yeah. Or you can just do your own, small group networking, structured events or structured meetings to build that network of referral sources without spending much or any money. Really, it's just your time. And especially with a new or growing business, what do you have more of? Time. What do you have left? So you may as well use your time.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Michael, because not only do we like referrals better on the front end of the process, but we found that people that were referred to you are 2.5 times more likely to refer others to you. People that are referred to you are likely to spend 3 to 4 times longer as a client with you. And like if your business is kind of a one price fits all, like as a realtor, people aren't going to spend that much more with you. But if in your business, people can purchase additional from you, people are actually 3 times more likely, or they'll spend 3 times more with you within the first year of being your client because they've got that trust. So not only is it easier on the front end, they're better clients on the back end as well.
And they're more likely to become customers or clients in the first place, because convincing someone to work with you from clicking on a Facebook ad is much different than convincing someone to work with you who's been referred by a trusted source and therefore has the endorsement of someone they trust already. That's much stronger. So very effective. This is awesome. Thank you, Tiffanie. This has been really helpful. I know it's been incredibly helpful to my clients and listeners who are in business or in sales and want to grow and want to use referral marketing to stimulate that growth and to really help. So I always wrap up with one question for my guests, and that is, what does wealth mean to you?
So I think wealth is so many and so much things. I think we can measure how wealthy we are in the money in our bank account or the savings that we have, the plan that we have to do with that money. I think we can also measure wealth in the relationships that we surround ourselves with. Over the last 10 months, the world's kind of been crazy. I think those of us that are wealthy with the relationships, the people in our world have had an easier go of it because we've got that support there. So I think, we want to make sure we're planning for the future with our money in the bank. And we want to make sure that we're planning for our future with those healthy relationships that we can surround ourselves with and hopefully make ourselves better.
Right on. I love it. Thank you. So 2 things as we wrap up here. One, I didn't warn you about this, so I'm not going to put you on the spot and get an answer yet, but I'm experimenting with Clubhouse. Are you on Clubhouse, Tiffanie?
I am not yet. I have not had anybody invite me yet.
I have 3 invites. I can send you one if you want.
Okay.
This may fizzle out really quickly, but for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be experimenting with every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to do a half-hour Clubhouse room to talk about the topic of the podcast. So if you're available, you're welcome to join. You can be a maybe because I didn't ask you before right now.
I'm like, Friday.
So I'm going to do a room if you want to join Clubhouse and just have a real-time chat about this topic and do Q&A, we'll do that. So this Friday at 10 a.m., I'll be in the room on Clubhouse. Let me make sure I am actually scheduling that.
And I'm actually hosting a program this Friday at 10.
Okay, well, I'll be there. I'll definitely. I may not be as experienced in networking and referral marketing as you are, Tiffanie, but I've got quite a bit of experience as well. So I'll try to field any questions if anybody wants to ask. And then 2, I want to make sure our listeners know where to find you if they want to work with you. What does that look like? So tell everybody the best place to find you. What kind of referrals you're looking for and how we can help you or find you if we want to work with you.
If you go to my website, TiffanieKellog.com, it's Tiffanie Kellogg, Kellog.com. And luckily it's spelled differently. So I'm pretty easy to find on the social medias. I don't do much on Twitter. I dabble there, though I am on Instagram, some LinkedIn and Facebook quite a bit. So you can find me at any of those places. And I love working with professional organizations and networking associations. What I do is I work with, how to get the members more referrals. So we partner really well, create strategic alliances with professional associations and networking organizations around the globe to help their members get better results, making everybody happy.
And I'm assuming you're doing lots of virtual presentations and webinars right now as well.
I'm doing lots of virtual. It's interesting. Everybody's like, when are we going back to in person, though? It's given me the opportunity. I had an event this morning and I've got people from the Philippines, Israel, India, the UK, all over the United States, here in this room. And we would never have been able to do that before. And so not that it's good or bad, life is what it is, but it has given us an opportunity to make the world a much smaller place.
Yeah, right on. Well, Tiffanie, thank you. It's been really, really helpful. Really appreciate the advice you shared with us and our listeners today. So I know it'll help a lot of people out there. So thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you being a listener. We'll put Tiffany's information in the show notes as well with links to her website. So definitely reach out if you'd like to work with Tiffany or say hello. And if you'd like to find me, as always, I'm on the web at elevationfinancial.com. Click that button in the homepage if you want to book a meeting and we'll chat. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. All right, recording is off. So cool. I don't think we have anybody hanging around viewing at the moment, so I don't think any questions are going to roll in, but I want to say thank you.
Thank you. It was a joy.
Yeah, I hope you had fun.
I did.
Really good advice. I think my listeners and clients will really benefit from it a lot. So
Just let me know if there's anything else I can do, and I'll definitely go on the social media and share it out to my network.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate it. So this Facebook Live video will just go live now, obviously, but then tomorrow morning I'll send you a link to the podcast landing page via audio, and you can share that if you want to.
Perfect.
And I will send you a Clubhouse invite.
Thank you so very much.
All right. Thanks, Tiffanie. Have a great day.
Have a good one.
See you later. Bye.